Hey everybody, welcome to Red versus Blue Let's Play, the weekly 11:30 a.m. Wednesday Eastern Standard Time um, cybersecurity simulation platform. I'm Gerald Auger. Clint Bow Dungeon's going to be joining us in just a minute, and every week we run through the Red versus Blue cybersecurity simulator, putting a different bend on it. And this week's no exception. I'll be operating as the blue team CISO operator, and we will be implementing the Australian Security Directorate Essential 8. This is the Australian government's guidance for organizations in Australia on how to best approach cybersecurity, resiliency, and information security program. Let's bring Clint in real quick to say what's up, Clint. Clint, how you doing today? You ready to rock and roll with the Australian 8?
Look at it's like we almost planned that. That, like you said, ready to rock and roll, and I already had my hands up, like I just read your mind. But I'm ready to watch you test out this standard. I find that this is a really interesting feature that you helped us emerge that I didn't realize was even capable with Red versus Blue, was literally being able to test industry standards to see how they hold up against an adversary. And yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get into it, everybody. Awesome. So if you're going to join us in chat, that is fantastic. Let's we won't be doing the chat overlay today, but Clint's here. He's a lead dev and CEO of ThreatGen, so he'll be engaging with chat while I'm playing. Let's get right in here and get started with this baby. Be playing as the blue team. Let's go for a mid-size organization, the Pipeline Company, and let's start the game. And if you're new to ThreatGen in the Red versus Blue platform, you can be the blue team and defend from an active adversary attacker who's attacking your organization, or you can be on the active adversary side. You can be on the red team side and have an active defender AI defending and stopping you. So it's a great platform for playing if you really enjoy cybersecurity as a practice, and also a great platform for learning. And like I said, today we will be the blue team. The winning conditions for the blue team are to outlast the opponent, have them thrown in jail, or eliminating all vulnerabilities. Because we are testing a security framework today, my goal is going to be to outlast the red team defender. Now, if they get thrown in jail because of this framework, that's fantastic. But for me, I'm looking for robustness, resilience, and a program that can be matured. So let's get into it. All right, so let's start the turn. Now, the very first thing that we all have to be on the same page with is what exactly is the Australian 8? Now, it's going to take me a minute, Clint, because my attachment is bringing it in sideways. So that's not going to be good. So let me see if I can share a different way.
Oh,
If you guys go ahead and Google the Essential 8 maturity model, you will see what exactly that is. Now, give me 1 minute while I try to bring this in. Let me play my first turn, right? Okay. So the essential model is broken up in a very kind of interesting way. Like it's not about a maturable cybersecurity framework with the mindset of left of boom and right of boom, very, very similar to the NIST cybersecurity framework. It's actually quite different. So we'll take a look at that as soon as I dig in here. Now, we are looking at my network topology that I am responsible for protecting. Let's go ahead and throw ourselves on the side, Clint. Okay, so this is our environment. You can see our $50,000 budget that we've been given by the board and our three analysts that we have at to work with. Now, let me move our participants' names so you can see the icons down here allow you to quick jump to certain things, and then the action tree shows us our abilities that we can do. Green is something we can do, and blue is not available yet because you have to unlock stuff. Now, if you just believe me for a second, I will tell you that the Essential 8 model has 8 key areas: application control, patching, configuring Microsoft Office, etc. I'm going to do application control as my first one. So let's take a look at what we can do from an application control perspective. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do policies and procedures because that is going to define some standards on what we need to do with the applications and with everything else. So that's a pretty standard one. We'll do that. Now, let me look at, I'm wondering, we have one more resource left, and I'm wondering if we need to do asset inventory or gateway firewall. So looking at the Essential 8 one more time, application control requires you to have a list of all your workstations, softwares installed and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to go on a limb and say that that actually is asset inventory. So give me 1 second. Let's do this. Okay. So I'm going to end my turn, let my dogs out the room, and then see if I can't get a graphic of the Essential 8 for you guys to digest. Clint, any thoughts on that initial first move?
It really depends on kind of what you think the adversary is doing. And then in the real world, this goes back to threat intelligence, right? If you think that that you're a target for more of a physical attack, then you would want to go for more physical stuff. If you think you're a target for cyber attack, you would want to do more social engineering stuff and everything like that. So, you know, when it comes to just following the standard, though, I mean, yeah, let's just see how it works out. Because as we saw with the CIS 18, we were able to determine that while it worked in the long run, it would have been more efficient if some of those would have been reordered in priority.
Mm-hmm. So true. So I've I've got the graphic here that we're going to be able to use Essential 8 controls. Okay.
How come we have 18 in the US and in Australia they only have 8?
Well, if you follow the, according to the guidance that I see, their idea is that it's easier for businesses of any size to implement these simple 8 things. And
Depends.
yeah, and I studied this in order to be able to do today's stream, and I actually have some pretty strong opinions on this particular framework. And it's I mean, it's not old. It's relatively new, like in the last 5 years, from what I can tell. But there are some serious shortcomings with it, and like you'll see in a second here. Whoops.
I mean, I could take a NIST standard, which is thousands of requirements, and then distill it down and basically say and combine a bunch of them and say, hey, look, we only have 21 requirements to meet this NIST standard. But if you dig down into it, it's like 1,000 requirements condensed into a bunch of combined ones. I know that's a far-fetched example and it's a cheesy way to do it. But my point is, if you have a lot of content and a lot of requirements baked into like a single line item, it's not any better.
Exactly. And we see this with 800-171 as well. So our resources are still committed right now and they're working. So we don't really have anything we can do except wait. And I've got what looks like going to be a really good way to share this with everybody in just a second. All right, let's do that.
Big spenders. We're springing for the, we're finally springing for the 1080p. We got off the cheap wagon.
Yeah, can you guys chat? Can you tell a difference in quality? I'd be really curious if you can. Are they saying that in chat, Clint?
Somebody said that rocking the 1080p looked better. So I mean, definitely you can definitely accentuate all of our flaws. Not that you have many, Jerry, but I'm a very flawed profile. But there's more of me to look at.
Yeah, I'm excited. Both Simply Cyber and ThreatGen upgraded their streams to be able to do 1080p. So definitely excited about that. I'm about to pull up this this graphic for everybody.
Simon says we look sharp.
Thank you, Simon.
Little
Simon,
ZZ top there.
Chat? Hmm?
What was your question for Simon?
Well, Simon started a new job. I wanted to know how it was going.
Oh, yeah.
You know. All right, let me see about this. Sorry, guys, that we're doing this like upside your face, but the platform was a little less friendly for us when we started to go live. Tech demo gods reality. Okay, cool. Here, let's check this out, Clint. Come on, luck be a lady.
Luck,
here we go.
Be a lady tonight.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, guys, this is the Australian 8. Okay, Australian Security Directorate 8, and you can see that it goes 1 through 8. But my belief is that this is not designed to be incremental, although I will be implementing it in an incremental fashion just to have some logic to it. They have 3 different maturity levels, and each level of maturity is based on kind of the threat model of the organization. So if you're targeting maturity level 1, you're mostly being targeted by like commodity malware. You don't have APTs coming at you. Obviously, the increased level of maturity, the increased level of cost, focus, resources, etc., in order to achieve that. So my first observation, we have 40 seconds before the next one. My first observation, way to go, Australia. But here's my thing. There's nothing in here that has to do with right of boom. This is all preventative controls. So
well,
there's
and
no
if you talk
detection.
about controls, yeah, I mean, while preventative measures can be a quote unquote control, if you're talking strictly about controls, this is correct.
Yeah, but it just, I feel like it's short-sighted, right? If an organization achieves maturity level 2 and they feel like they're hot, the hotness, and then they get breached, they're going to be like, well, how
Yeah, and I was speaking strictly of semantics, not saying one's right or wrong. By the way, that thing reminds me of a trivia game, like you were going to spin the wheel and get categories or something, or Wheel of Fortune or something with the colors.
So we've completed our asset inventory and policies and procedures. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are fans or members of the Simply Cyber community, I have an entire soundboard just for Threat Gen Red versus Blue Let's Play games, including, obviously we've got Mario coins, right? And then Chun-Li laughing, like when the threat actor, my adversary, does something silly.
I'm a crypto evangelist. Oh, wait, hold on. Love it, love it, love it.
That is not the right one. I'm sorry, y'all.
You got your sticky notes mixed up.
Yeah, that's okay. Anyways, Chun-Li is in here, and I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, so let's look at what our next moves are here. As soon as I get my Chun-Li, there she is. There we go, Chun-Li. Okay, so let's look at our directory 8 again. We have our 3 resources back. We're still kind of focusing on application whitelisting and patching applications. So let's see what the tree does. Now, here's the thing, guys. Where none of this says firewalls, none of this is network security, okay? This is very much endpoint security. And that's another gross shortcoming of this application, of this framework. I am going to take a little bit of liberties in that application hardening would be, we'll add some network layer controls at that level, because it would technically harden the application and not have threat actors just banging on it. But we are not going to be having. Oh, thank you, Thavisha. Essentially, it is a mess. Well, I'll tell you what, my initial thoughts was very critical of this framework. I've already outlined the detection controls are missing. I've outlined there's no network security controls. I wouldn't implement this in my environment if I was responsible. So let's look at our tree. Two-factor auth, which is called out here, right? So two-factor auth is way up here, control 7. So we're not going to get to that for a while. Oh, by the way, nothing here says anything about educating your end users.
Oh.
Okay. So This framework's going to get dominated. If you look at their cybersecurity guide, they have a NIST style framework. They are just supposed to be the basic controls that everyone should implement. Yeah, thanks, Chad. So, Chad, are you saying that the Australian Security Directorate has additional framework but beyond the Essential 8, or you're saying that the Essential 8 is supposed to be the basics, and then the guidance you're talking about goes into greater detail on how to do them better? Because like right now, guys, application whitelisting, let's see if we can like, hold on.
We don't have application whitelisting implemented in our that's something we need.
Yep.
We should implement application whitelisting in Red versus Blue. We don't have that. Shame on us. Shame.
It's a hard control, but it's a good one.
Shame.
So I'm gonna say for application whitelisting, I mean SDLC, maybe ICS certification. Yeah. So we'll do a couple of these. So let's do ICS vendor certification, because I feel like that's a whitelisting kind of thing. And harden RDP. So we'll say harden RDP. So we're only whitelisting certain RDP solutions. Okay. And there we go. And any other relative ones to application whitelisting?
Yeah, I would say you got those reverse. Well, it's okay. I guess you can't have reverse. You're allowed. I see what you're doing. But yeah, application hardening, I think, is going to be the closest to application whitelisting.
Oh, I see. So I did harden RDP. Yeah, I mean, it's a little confusing.
Harden RDP is specific to RDP.
Yeah, no, I know. But I mean, I'm trying to... I'm doing my best to kind of shoehorn these. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. People aren't seeing this. I'm doing my best to shoehorn these controls into the Essential 8 categories. Yeah. So application whitelisting. Would we call a SIM?
No, it would be in game, according to the function of the game. When you do the individual system hardening, that would be the equivalent of the closest we have in Red versus Blue to application whitelisting. And I like that because application whitelisting is based off of individual systems, individual assets. So for right now, your application whitelisting is going to be hardening the system. Unfortunately, you can't actually harden the system in Red versus Blue until after you've done a vulnerability assessment.
Yeah.
So you're restricted by the game mechanics right now.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and install SIM, because we're going to have to be doing restrict admin privileges, which is like default creds and stuff, and some application hardening. So even though the framework does not say SecOps type work, in order to achieve the goals that we have to do that as a kind of ground floor stuff. So let's do that. We've done our our 3 engineers. So, we'll see what they do. Let's get our coins. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
I love that. Shame.
There's something for the soundboard.
Shame.
Have Quentin ring a bell and yell shame. Oh, okay. That's actually a good idea.
Oh, wait. But are we talking about the Game of Thrones version or the Peter Griffin version? Because I'm doing the Peter Griffin version. Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
I think we might have to have a couple shame buzzers. The one from Game of Thrones and you. Thanks. Thanks for the recommendation, Matthew. Recent squad member too, I might add. All right. So let's check it out. We've got one resource. We're still kind of doing the whitelisting stuff. I feel like we've got that. We need to patch, but we can't unlock that until we finish our SIM stuff, I believe, right? So let's do ICS safe testing methods also. Since I feel like that's kind of going to allow us to patch applications, right? So again, it's really it's really the front work of being able to patch the application. We can't patch ICS stuff unless we do a safe testing method, right? So we can ensure that we're not breaking it when we're patching it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's end the turn. How's chat going? I'll take a minute and look at chat.
Somebody said this.
It's the signals directorate. Thank you. Thank you, Ross. Hold on, let me bring this in. I've been saying it wrong. Thanks, Ross. I brought it on stream. Okay. It's the signals directorate, not security. I totally bollocks that up. So thank you, Ross, for that. I'll start saying signals directorate. So what are hold on. I've got a microphone boom in my way. I think I might have to move to a shotgun mic because this boom is really cramping my style now. Let's see.
All that money you spent on the Shure SMB, and now you're just going to move to a boom.
I know. Oh, it does look crisp. Thanks, Tom. Tom, this is 1080p. So hopefully, I mean, here, look at me. Look at me. Look at me, Tom. Look at me.
But your stream is a little pixelated.
I'm the captain now.
Oh, missed it. I was playing my captain sound effect.
Look at me. Sure. I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now, Tom. Okay. So we'll figure it out. I've got a capture card coming later today. I've tried like 3 or 4 different ones to really get a quality stream from my camera. So we'll go from there. Let's see. Any other chat? I just want to.
We're using the same one. I don't get it. See, look at this. We're using the same one, and mine is actually a little crisper than yours, so I don't understand.
Is that right, guys? Is Clint crisper than me? I like to be the crispy one. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. I don't have the pixelization in the background. Who knows? All right, play.
All right, here we go. Let's end the turn and hope. Guys, I have really low expectations of this security model successfully defending our organization. All right. And whoever spoke in chat about somebody mentioned Chad Hunter. Chad, if you're still here, can you clarify on whether or not the signals directorate has additional information on how to make this work? And Clint, can you look through chat while I'm doing this?
Yeah, Chad is also a longtime friend of ThreatGen, by the way.
Is he? Oh, great.
He's been here since like day 1 of Red versus Blue.
Let's see. Where's the retro wave, bro? Yeah, I was doing a little Roots. Can you hear it? Clint told me my music was too loud.
No, that was earlier. Yeah, now I said it was too high earlier, and now it's too low.
All right. Okay,
I got my DJ headphones on, so I expect good music.
Yeah, let me do this. All right, so this is our Essential 8 that we're running on right now. I feel like we've kind of done application whitelisting, patching, configuring macros. That's a really specific Microsoft Office control. Obviously, the Signals Directorate wants you to do this since Microsoft is in like 90% of all organizations. It's not really applicable here. Clint is the crispiest. Thank you, Tom. So let's look at our skill tree and see if there's anything around application hardening that we can do. Oh, we need to do a vulnerability assessment if we're going to harden our assets.
Chad, can you repost that link? I didn't see it.
Yeah, let's do our vulnerability assessment, guys. All right. That's going to take $10,000, which is so expensive. And then go from there.
Yeah, Chad, if you repost that link, I'll copy it and put it as a caption so that everybody can see it.
Yeah, thank you. Channels. ASD top 35. Okay. Okay, so this is really good. Guys, I was just trying to, like, when I do these Red versus Blue streams with Clint, I want it to be more than just a playthrough. I want it to be interesting on learning something about a new framework or an approach to security. So I'll check out this 35 one as well. Thank you. Thank you. Toasty. That's right. Yeah, Clint's crispy. He's toasty.
Chad, you said you just posted it. Chad, where are you posting it? I'm not seeing it. Is it getting blocked in YouTube? I mean, in Restream or YouTube or something?
He might be posting it in. He might be posting it in. No, I don't know where he's posting it, honestly.
Thanks, Jess.
Stream looks amazing. Thank you. Yeah, we're all 1080p now. Love it. Okay, so we're still executing on this essentially. My analysts are all busy working, so we're gonna just end turn. Guys, unfortunately, I don't see network security anywhere in this essential aid. So we're not getting a firewall. Look at the skill tree, guys. We're not getting a firewall, which is like, God, that's foundational. We're not getting network segmentation, which is really bad. We're not doing net sensors. If you look, there's nothing in here about end user awareness training. This is really focused exclusively on the endpoint. Almost like it should almost be called Australian Essential 8 Endpoint Security Maturity Model. So let's keep grinding on this thing. I've got one analyst available. Our next control is application hardening. All right, so cool. Let's look at that. We can implement SDLC. We could encrypt network traffic. I mean, that's more at the network level, but I like the argument that it's the data going into the application. If I can make a stretch. So let's do that. God, having network security is really gross. All right, let's encrypt network traffic. Okay, maybe we'll do USB security simply because it's endpoint focused. Let me see this Australian Signals Directorate.
And I think you posted malware. This link is having issues.
So that would be something.
Yeah, I can't get it. It's the reason it's blocking it is because it's a direct link to a PDF, and it keeps blocking it. Not only is Eric it's a Microsoft Word file, so it's a link to a Microsoft Word file. So YouTube is blocking it, and so is all my security stuff. So, so we can't get the link to it.
Interesting. So I've pulled up this top 35 reference card. And what's interesting is of the 35, the 8 are the first 8, and then they have additional controls. I'm just looking through them right now. They also seem very focused on the endpoint. Okay, now here's user education, network encryption. Okay, so listen, team. 2 weeks from now, I'll be going against Josh Mason, but 2 weeks from that, I will do the Australian 35 controls. All right, so we got 24 seconds. Let's end the turn.
Is it just me, like or is the fact that this standard is posted in the form of a Word document concerning? I mean, is that just me?
Are you looking at the 35?
Yeah, this is the one that Chad posted. He sent it in the ThreatGen Discord link. And
posted one on the 35.
There's the PDF one.
Let's see really quick. I want to Google image the 35.
Here, I'll put that in the caption.
Cool. Now I don't.
It's long, so screenshot it.
All right, let's keep grinding on this guy. Again, I've got low expectations. If you just Google Australian Signals Directorate 35, you should get it. Let's look at what we're doing here. Our 3 resources are still fully committed to working, so we can't really do anything. So let's end the turn. And we lost. Jesus, that was fast.
Oh.
This is I don't even have the noise for it. Here. No.
We need an explosion.
No, I have one for this, like just in case I lose. Okay.
Or how about this one?
I should have.
You lose.
I love it. What about this?
There you go. That's it.
That's it. Okay. So guys, we just got smoked in 9 turns by the threat actor.
Wait.
Trying to use the Australian Essential 8. Yeah.
Fatality.
Basically. Jesus. That was awful, guys. Like, that was awful. 9 turns. I mean, we started it a little late, and it was 30 minutes. Let's look at how the offensive team did here, right? So it looks like they had 1 attack, and that got them in. They were not on premise. So, Clint, based on what you see here, they had 2 pivots. How did they win? Damaged ICS process. So, okay, guys, look at this. They damaged the ICS process in 9 turns. They had 1 direct cyber attack. Let me show you what's going on here, guys. Look at this.
Remote.
Look at here. Let me view the other. Look at. They did a scan from the internet. Can I zoom in?
Do we not have a firewall in place?
Right. Exactly. That's where I'm going. Listen, they scanned from the internet. They found some devices, and then they pivoted. Now, here's why it's gross. Look at my network. They came from the internet and pivoted over here and took out my ICS stuff. There is no firewall, which I knew was going to be a problem. There's no network segmentation, which I knew was going to be a problem. There was no network detection. There was no endpoint security. Like,
I'm going to dispute one thing.
Go ahead.
And this is a flaw in red versus blue that we're correcting. Any standard or no standard, a modern network doesn't start off with some form of basic firewall on the perimeter. Even on the router, if it's just a router. So it's unrealistic to think that there's not even a perimeter firewall in place at all in the most basic form. So I would say even if a network or a company is not following the basic standard, cybersecurity practices from any standard, there's still going to be a firewall in place at some degree. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I could almost envision where you start the game with 2 out of 3 resources available, and the firewall on the skill tree is activated.
Yeah, so when we're correcting that, we're going to make it to where the game starts with a default firewall. The gateway firewall is in place by default. However, I suggest you rerun it and at least put in the firewall in your first turn, just to start with.
I agree 100%. I mean, I have time. I mean, we blocked an hour for this.
Yeah, let's rerun it. Yeah. Rerun it.
All right.
Spin it up, DJ.
All right, here we go. Let's play again. Single player, blue team. We'll do the pipeline again. Start the game. You guys know what's going on. We're looking for Mario coins. Okay, here we go. All right, guys. Let's do the gateway firewall, which is so fundamental. Okay. And then, as I mentioned before with the, can you get rid of the hyperlink, please?
Oh, sorry.
As we mentioned earlier, the Essential 8 are basic controls. I'm going to do my best to follow them. So based on that, I'm going to do policies and procedures also as part of my first move. So my 3 resources are committed. Let's go ahead and end the turn. And let me change the music since we're doing a different game here. Oh, perimeter firewall installed. That's nice. What a change. Okay. There we go. So now this is the real deal. Okay. Now, network segmentation is still not part of the Essential 8. So we're not getting network segmentation. Okay. But that's okay. Let us do some application hardening. We need to do asset inventory in order to start getting that software inventory. So let's do that.
This would be a much more realistic simulation if red versus blue didn't automatically enforce prerequisites. Basically, you just had an entire set of options to play that were categorized, but no prerequisites. And you could do whatever you want when you want. That would truly test these standards.
Agreed.
And that would be easy. We could easily do a build for that.
Okay. Well, let's get on it then. Create a card.
On it. Create a card.
So let's end our turn. We're looking for the Mario a win this time around, guys. Let's see, what is this sound effect? Okay. We need to do, I've got a new sound effect too for you guys. Let me see if I can. There we go.
What are we listening to? Lion King?
Get out of here. No. It's the midnight.
How's the volume? Gonna start singing.
How's the volume, chat? Let us know, or let me know, because I control the volume. I'm the captain.
Love it, Matthew. RVB creative mode. Oh, sorry,
That's
I
where
talked
it's at,
over your
man.
sound.
That's okay. You do it all the time. Okay, so we finished our policies and procedures. That's dope. Okay, major win. So now let's dive in here. We're still doing application hardening. I'm thinking, or application whitelisting. I'm sorry. So,
yeah, Alex, the answer is
exactly.
Yes. That's why it would be a separate mode.
Yeah, that's that scaffolding that we put in place to kind of direct you.
On Rails. RVB on Rails.
RVB on Rails, yeah. So for application whitelisting, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a little bit more liberal with this, Clint. I'm going to say that we will install a SIM. I'm not sure I want to do it right now, but we will install a SIM in order to enforce that application whitelisting is happening, right? We can detect, using a SIM, we can detect unauthorized applications running on our network. All right. Let's do SDLC, right? Since that's software related, we want approved apps only. It's not exactly a one-for-one, but we'll do it.
I think it's you're right. It's close.
Oh, Karen, it's not Small World. Here, I switched the music. You guys are tough on me. All right. Asset inventory completed. All right. It's a win. All right, let's keep going. We've got one resource. Remember, we can look at what our analysts are working on and how long it's going to take them to complete it. So SDLC takes 3 days. So our analysts, 2 of them, are going to be committed for the next 3 days, basically through the end of the week. So let's see what we can put one analyst on for a bit. Let's see. Strong Wi-Fi. See, again, this Essential 8 that we're testing right now does not really account for network security. Okay, this is all endpoint stuff. We will be doing Essential 35, or the Australian Signals Directorate 35 in 4 weeks' time. But for now, we're doing the Essential 8. All right, This
is our cybersecurity montage music.
Exactly. I love it. All right, so ICS safe testing methods. We can't do vulnerability assessments on ICS equipment until we do this part. So this is an investment into ourselves long term, and the SIM. I'm going to do the SIM, guys, because I feel the SIM is going to allow us to enforce application whitelisting, kind of. Normally, you do application whitelisting at the endpoint level, but we're going to take some liberties here. Carry. They'll beat Jerry in 10 moves now. All right, threat monitoring enabled. We got this. Very nice. All right, here we go. Let's keep rolling. We've got our analysts still have one more day to finish their work. So we've got to put one analyst on something. I think we're going to do strong Wi-Fi. Okay, guys? Just because... No, that doesn't really map to application whitelisting. I'm going to do hard RDP, okay? And the argument I'm going to make here is that we're whitelisting remote access softwares, right? It's not exactly a one-for-one, but I'm trying to make it okay. Okay, actually, hold on. We have to do the safe testing method too. Here we go. All right, we're at 37,500. Okay, thanks, Chad. So Chad drops a comment here that The Essential 8 is really for Windows-based networks, and other controls should be implemented appropriately. So, Chad, I'll definitely caveat the Essential 8 as I'm using it as not appropriate for an information security program, the way that I'm using it. Okay,
And
so
props to
SDLC
Chad.
implemented.
Props to Chad
What's
for his
that?
knowledge on. Props to Chad on his for his knowledge on this standard, because he's not even Australian. If it's the same Chad that I know, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's the same Chad that I referred to earlier. Could be a different Chad. Chad Hunter. I don't know how many Chad Hunters there are in this world.
Though.
Maybe a lot.
I like that. It's cool name.
The hunted has
Sister
become the
Christian.
hunter.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so we got 2 people. Our analyst is working one more day on ICS safety testing. So let's see what we can do for 2 people. And again, we're trying to adhere to this Essential 8, guys. Let's open it up too, because Chad, correct me if I'm wrong, but these aren't defined in order. You should be doing these in any order, right? It's like do these 8. They're not sequential like CIS 18 is. So if my belief is that that's true, so let's operate under that premise that we can do any of these. So we can do backups, MFA, etc. Okay. So we got 2 people, 3 days. Let's do 2-factor auth. Okay. Crystalline. Oh, you know it's stacking coins. Yeah, I'll get into that. I'll take requests if it's the midnight. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on. All right, so ICS safe testing methods implemented. We're ready to roll, baby. Oh, cool. Chad, I don't know if you caught us 2 weeks ago, but we did CIS 18. They collapsed 2 of the controls down, but now it's CIS 18. But we did red versus blue a couple weeks ago with that, and it worked out pretty well. All right, so looking at my skill tree here, we're still doing 2FA, so we've got 1 out of 3. Looking at the Australian Signals Directorate, Essential 8, backups are in here, patching's in here. I would love to patch my systems. Whoops. So let's check how can we harden and patch systems. Let's see. Let's do a vulnerability assessment. Vulnerability mapping. I would rather do a vulnerability assessment, honestly. That guy's going to take 2 more days to do, so we can do 1 person for 2 days, or 1 person for 1 day, 1 person for 1 day. So let's sniff around our inventory. Here we go, 1 person, 2 days, harden RDP. This maps to Essential 8, right? Which is application hardening, control 4 down here. So it's on the turn.
So that's a good point. Chad said that it's kind of to make sure that your program is done, but it's not necessarily sequential 1, 2, 3 like the CIS 18 is.
Good. All right. Well, that takes the shackles off us a little bit, Clint, and allows us to implement a little bit more stronger. Okay. So all of my assets are committed. 1 more turn for both of these. I should free up everybody, and I'll do a vulnerability assessment next turn.
The shackles have been removed.
Yes. Now, what sucks is there's nothing in here about endpoint detection and response, and I can't really make an argument that any of these are that. The only one that you can make an argument for, in chat, if you've got thoughts, I'd love to hear it. The only one that you can make an argument for is number 5, restricting admin privileges. Technically, you do that with permissions and GPOs and stuff, but if you put EDR on, you could identify privileged access that's being done, not illegally, but with unauthorized access, like privilege escalation attack or something, and identify it and pull it down. So if chat is comfortable with, oh, no problem, big fun. If chat's comfortable with me taking the liberty to say that restricting admin privileges requires EDR, then I will absolutely put EDR.
I would say EDR is more for detection, whereas, again, hardening, the system hardening is going to fall into the restricting access. That when we originally designed the game, the hardware system hardening was basically configuration hardening, which also includes permissions. But I think that as we're going through these standards, it's going to become prudent for us to start to separate out these concepts in terms of actions you play in game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was just trying to make an argument for what it is. Hey, Renisha. Hopefully I said that right. Yeah, absolutely. The midnight has helped me quite a bit. Quite a bit. I'll tell you what, guys. Like, I've listened to a lot of midnight. Clint, when I was going through my PhD, the dissertation is an incredibly lonely, arduous experience. It's very, very mentally exhausting, and there was a lot of the midnight to get. So I'm going to create IR procedures since this is it's up here, daily backups. So I mean, I'm sorry, I'm thinking backups, not IR procedures. So we're not doing any IR stuff. Let's think here.
I still listen to the Karate Kid soundtracks 1, 2, and 3 when I'm coding.
Is that right? Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
All those montages and you're the best around.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll tell you what, too. Comeback Kid, the Comeback Kid by the Midnight. That song particularly resonated with me. Here, I'll start taking some requests. Looks like Stacking Coins had one. Renisha Jones, I'll play Gloria for you. All right, so guys, we've got all of our people committed here. We're doing a vulnerability assessment and backup process. Vulnerability assessment is very expensive, but we're okay with that because it'll unlock everything and allow us to start patching our gear. Yeah, hey, Big Fun, I hope you got that Raspberry Pi sorted out. The WebGoat Raspberry Pi lab.
Chad says AV is in the 35, but not the top 8.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Manisha's up in Gretchen, playing on Red versus Blue.
Yeah, I've noticed we've got several Threat Gen players here in our chat. I see nice. Alex in there too. By the way, Alex, thanks for all of the typos findings. We're on those, buddy.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. Chad Hunter, we will be doing the 35 in 2 weeks' time. That'll give me enough time to read through it and get familiar with it. Guys, like security awareness is in the 35. Like there's a lot of basic stuff that's in the 35 that is not in the 8. Like I'm not feeling the 8, y'all. All right, so we've got system backups implemented. Some coins for that. Let's keep rolling. We've got one analyst available for how long? One more day. This is perfect. So what can we do for 1 day? That would map to our plan. Strong Wi-Fi. That doesn't really map into the essential anyway. Nope. 2FA does, but all right. Crap. We got to do something. Maybe you can make the argument that even though it's not in the essential 8, if you had resources, this is a basic, right? So you can do things on top of it, right? So that's what I would argue. What do you think, Clint? Do you think it's cheating if I see things that are outside the essential 8 have resources available?
It's cheating. It's cheating. You got to stick to the plan. The stream is based on the plan. We're measuring the functionality and effectiveness of the standard as is.
Okay. God dang. All right. Well, then how about USB security, and we'll put it around application whitelisting, because if you plug in a USB and it's trying to run code that's not allowed.
I agree. That could be a version. We'll call that AWL based on because the game mechanics are giving us some problems. So we'll get around game mechanics. That'll be the only rule. That's the only cheating we can do is fudge the game mechanics.
Cheating. I mean, I'm saying we're making a subjective argument on whether or not it falls under.
We're
interpreting USB-C.
We're interpreting the game mechanics to fit the appropriate requirements of the standard.
Okay. This one goes out to Stacking Coins. Stacking Coins writes in, what was that Casey Kasem used to say? Like, like Stacking Coins writes, "Dear Casey, my summer love."
I used to miss Casey Kasem. Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, actually.
Oh, yes, that's true.
It was the voice of Shaggy.
All right, guys, we finished our vulnerability assessment, guys. You know what that means? We can see our whole network. Let's get after it, people. This is where we're really going to start to shine, okay? We need to harden our applications and patch our applications. So let's get busy. We're going to start with our engineering workstation, since that's obviously a very hot place. Let's patch. We're still not going to be able to do EDR, which totally stinks. Let's patch our firewall and harden it. There we go. Easy turn. At least our next couple turns are going to be easy. They used to have on their website, the Australian Signals Directorate looked at every breach in Australia and found these 8 controls if implemented at the time of the breach. Oh. Wow. That's
Good
cool.
job, Jess.
That's really cool information, Chad. What happened? Jess won in 6 minutes? Wow. Nice, Jess. Blue or red? It must be red, I bet. But all right, here we go. We patched our systems. We got a $10,000 bonus because we are awesome. What would be an appropriate sound effect for the bonus? There we go. Some Mario coins. Okay.
Actually, no, you should do Randy Moss for the bonus.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah, that's going to take me a second. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's keep patching. Hardening, changing default creds. We're going to continue hardening over here on our network.
So, Jess, that's fantastic. By following the Lockheed kill chain, because one of the things that we did when designing the red team part was we put the kill chain right at the top. So if you follow the top line, it illustrates the kill chain. So great job.
Yeah, that is great. And I hope it helped teach you the kill chain, Jess. If you didn't know it, I mean, if you did already know it, then awesome to have that kind of tactile use of it to kind of ingrain it in you. All right, so we have all of our actions queued up, so we're going to end our turn. Let's see, 27, system hardened. Okay, great. Guys, we're just going to keep hardening our systems here. I want to keep it to the ICS side first. System hardening, system patching. We're going buck wild up in here. Now, granted, there's no EDR here, guys, so things could be compromised. We have no clue. All right, asset out of service. That's not good. What's a good
what is it?
We'll do that. All right, so what is out of service? Ooh, I just patched this thing too.
Did you just patch it, or did you just do a vulnerability assessment?
I patched it.
Then you probably did that on your own.
Let's see.
You applied a patch that wasn't certified by the vendor.
Oh, so let's do vendor certification.
I mean, that's not part of the CIS 8. I mean, not the CIS 8. That's not part of the standards, but this is for IT, not for industrial. But I think that's a great point, is that these standards that are not industrially based are not going to prevent things like this.
Yes, that's a great point. Very good point. So I'm going to reboot this asset because I'm a fool and knocked it over myself. All right, here we go. Asset rebooted. And by the way, just a throwback to when we got this budget.
There you go.
All right, let's keep rolling. We're looking at the Australian Signals Directorate Essential 8. and testing it in the red versus blue simulation platform. We got smoked on the first one, so we made an exception and installed the gateway firewall. We're going to keep working on patching. I can't touch my ICS stuff until I... is this a switch? I can patch this, right? All right. PCS historian. No patching there. Patching and hardening. I also want to look at the DC and patch that. The file server. Patch that. And the mail server. I want to patch. I don't want to... Yeah, oh, I'm out of assets. Okay, cool. All right. Let's end the turn. Yeah. All right, asset rebooted. All right, so nothing really happened there. We're just continuing to patch our gear. Deleted the ability to ICS vendor certification. Now we can scan and patch our stuff, which is awesome. Let me see. Patch. Oh, change default creds. Got to do that. That's not good. Implement strong Wi-Fi and harden. These hardens are expensive. Okay, let's end the turn. I'm just going around my network and patching it all up. There we go. Yeah. Oh, let's do a shout out to Renisha Jones playing Gloria here. Okay, guys, we got 3 people. Let's continue the patch train, okay? Patch. And I'm being a little flippant about what I'm choosing to patch in what order. Normally, I would focus on mission critical assets before I did endpoint workstations, but you know. Now, Clint, what are we looking at here? This has a weak password, but I can't harden this system. I can't see the Control 4. I know, but I can't do Control 4. I can't fix weak passwords.
Oh. Control 4 is application hardening. I would say that's your SD. So Control 4 is SDLC and or system hardening.
Yeah, but I can't change default password on this system because I don't have the ability to do it. So there must be
that's a weak password, not a default password, and you have to enforce strong passwords.
Yeah, so I'll that's what I'll do. But to me, that's hardening, right?
If it has a weak password, I mean, yeah. I would still say that's a GPO. That's a policy. In order to prevent weak passwords or to have a weak password, you tell them to change their password, but you have to enforce strong passwords. I think it's a middle ground between GPO and system hardening.
Right. But for the sake of this discussion, are we willing? You're the judge, I guess. Are we willing to accept that changing weak passwords or enforcing strong passwords would equate to application hardening?
Yes, that's. I will allow it because it's a yeah, fine. I think it's.
Well, then I'm gonna do what is it? Strong passwords. Perfect. All right, so let's do that, and then let's keep patching stuff. I think we've done all the patching. So now we have to do the. I think we've done all the patching. So now we need to do system hardening and update AV. Crap. Okay, let's keep doing it then. Let's start hardening. Okay, it's gonna take. Oh. All right. Not good. Not good.
There we go.
We lost. Let me do this.
Let me do it,
guys.
Fatality.
All right, so let's investigate what happened and what went wrong. Okay. Let me look at this really quickly. Hold on, I gotta do this for you guys really quick, right? Here we go.
There you go.
All right. So let's look what happened. They damaged the ICS process again. Let's see what happened. Social engineering attacks, 3 out of 6. They were successful. USB drop, so they went with the USB. It looks like they had 4 pivots. So, Clint, based on what I'm seeing, I got absolutely manhandled. They physically intruded, dropped a bunch of USB drives. For some reason, they had 4 pivots, which I don't even think they needed. Ooh, they owned my file server. They owned the PC historian. They owned this SCPCS, whatever that is. They were on the perimeter, and they got right here. This device. Now, here's something interesting, y'all. Here's something interesting. Wow. This thing had a bunch of 0 days and a week password. So, guys, just to point out, we were testing the Essential 8 security controls from the Australian Signals Directory. I was following these as best as I can, including hardening, but none of these controls include network security or security operations content, which includes like detection and incident response. And I think what happened here, if you look at what happened, they literally came on site and then started pivoting around the environment. Because I didn't have endpoint detection and response, this happens in real life too, guys. I had a SIM, but I didn't have endpoint detection and response, and maybe it wasn't configured properly. These guys just walked right in and got right to our ICS and basically nuked us from orbit. So not a good day for the blue team. We lost twice to the same. No, it doesn't, Christopher. Essential 8 is this. And Chat Hunter put this in chat. The Essential 8 really looks like it's focused exclusively on the endpoint and almost exclusively on Microsoft Windows endpoints. So we're not talking servers necessarily. We're definitely not talking network security. It's really just the endpoint. And I don't know, Clint. I mean, it's kind of... Chad said that this was based on an analysis in Australia by the government to say if these 8 controls are put in place, 95% of all attacks that were experienced in a certain time range would have been prevented. There's no anti-malware on there's no install anti-malware. There's no install endpoint detection response. Yeah. There's no awareness training.
There's disagree.
Major gaps here.
Yeah, there's major gaps. Even looking at this thing now, when you put it into context, I would have said this is an ineffective security standard, even as a guideline just for the basic 8. I think it's missing some essential things. It needs to be at least be 10 because there's at least 2 more things that I would say you need to put in. Number 1, network segmentation. Number 2, basic antivirus kind of stuff and malware control. I mean, this is and red versus blue just proved it. You got zonked twice with a fatality.
Yes, exactly. Let me bring this up really quick on screen. Let me do this. One second. Let me exit the game. Let me do this really quick on screen for you guys. This might be a little bit of an eyesore, but you can see this is the Australian Signals Director at 35. And what they've done here is you'll notice that the first 8 are the same 8 that we've been looking at: configure, application, MFA. And then they start getting in additional ones: web content filtering, deny corporate computers access to the internet. So now we're getting a little bit more into the network area. But you can see antiviruses here, removable media like USB devices. We get into email security. And then finally, way down here, user education, anti-malware, network encryption. So, I'd be curious what data they base this off of. Honestly, I feel like this is not the best approach based on my professional experience.
And again, I don't think that the 35 is sequential either, or prior. I don't think it's prioritized by order. I think it's just saying you have to have these, according to what Chad was saying. If the same logic from the 8 applies to the 35.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're still with us, I saw Jamie commented that he didn't care for the music. That's cool. No big deal. The Threat Gen Red versus Blue Portal does have its own music. I just opt to stream retro synthwave while playing. So I'll get my sound. Yeah,
Christopher, that's not a soundbite. I'm actually using my effects for fatality.
Yes. I have this one as well. So the Super Mario Brothers dying is for when I lose, but for getting compromised or having to activate IR, we also have.
Yeah.
So we'll get the soundboard straightened out. Guys, really appreciate it. If you're interested, Clint, you want to, we've got the social handles up here. Obviously, if you got value out of this, would really appreciate a like, a thumbs up, or whatever it is. If you want, we're doing this every Wednesday. The best way to say, hey, I like it, is to hit the subscribe button. If you're over on the Threat Gen channel watching this right now, we are broadcasting on the Simply Cyber channels as well, but it's easy enough to go to YouTube and type in Threat Gen, go to the channel, and hit subscribe. We appreciate it. It definitely goes a long way in letting us know that you like this content versus not doing it. If you are interested in the actual game that we were playing, the Portal, go over to threatgen.com. You can check it out. I know there's a bunch of you who are in stream right now that have access to the Portal and have been playing it. Love seeing that. Like I said, we're going to start doing heads up play. I played against Clint not too long ago. I'll be playing against Josh Mason in 2 weeks' time. We're going to continue doing different frameworks and testing them in a simulated environment. Obviously, the Australian Essential 8 did not fare well, and we gave it an honest shot, I'd argue, Clint.
Yeah, I mean, I think we gave it an honest shot, and even limitations of the mechanics aside, which I really think we can start to fix that moving forward with other standards. I don't think it holds up, regardless.
Agreed. But in stay tuned, because in the end of May, like 4 weeks time from now, whenever that is, I'll do the Australian Signals Director at 35, and I will try to do it in a way that based on the effectiveness of what they're saying. Okay, so they have user awareness training in there, but it's pushed down. So I'll use it as a tiered grade, right? I'll do the essential controls first, then the excellent controls, then the very good controls, and so on and so forth. So we'll give Australia a second chance to get in the ring and battle against the AI and see what happens.
I think that's what we should label it that, kind of like we're doing, like, Jerry versus Josh Mason, Jerry reigning champion versus Josh Mason, and yes, I concede you are the reigning champion, but we should also do red versus blue, red versus blue versus the CIS 18, red versus blue versus the cybersecurity framework, pitting red versus blue against the standards. That's kind of a cool concept. You thought
awesome.
Of it. It's all yours.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. I love cybersecurity, so this is fun for me, like best job ever. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Head on over to the Portal if you want more information. Hit subscribe if you want to be a member of the Threat Gen community and be made aware when we go live and do stuff like that. And other than that, we will see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.